Stop working for money, because the more you chase it, the more it controls you. Sounds strange, right? We've been told our whole life that money is the goal. Work hard, earn more, repeat. But if that actually worked, most people would already be free. Instead, they're stuck in the same cycle. Wake up, go to work, wait for the weekend, and then do it all over again. Not because they want to, but because they have to. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The system isn't designed to make you rich. It's designed to keep you working. Because the moment you stop working, your income stops. And that's the trap. You're not building freedom. You're maintaining survival. Think about it. If your income depends on your time, then your life depends on your time too. And time is limited. No matter how hard you work, there's always a ceiling. And that's why people feel stuck, even when they're doing everything right. Because they're following a path that was never meant to make them free. Now here's where it gets deeper. Most people think the problem is income. If I earn more, everything will be fine. But that's not true, because even when income increases, freedom doesn't. You get a raise. You feel good for a moment. Then slowly, your life adjusts to that new level. Better phone, better place, better lifestyle. And suddenly, that higher income doesn't feel like progress anymore. It feels normal. And now you need it. That's the trap. Because instead of gaining freedom, you increase your dependency. Your expenses grow. Your responsibilities grow. And now, walking away becomes harder than ever. You're not working because you want to. You're working because you have to maintain everything. And that's why people feel stuck at every level. Low income feels hard, but high income comes with invisible pressure. Because the more you earn, the more you build a life you can't easily leave. And slowly, you stop chasing freedom. You start protecting your lifestyle. Now let's talk about the real limit, your time. Because even if your income grows, your time doesn't. There are only 24 hours in a day, and a job needs your presence, your energy, your attention. So the more you try to earn, the more time you give away. At first, it feels worth it. You're earning more. You feel productive. But slowly, you start to notice something. You're always busy, always tired, always waiting for a break. Because your life is being traded hour by hour. And here's the problem. You can increase effort, but you can't multiply time. So your income will always hit a limit, no matter how skilled you are, no matter how hard you try. And that's the moment most people ignore. Because it's uncomfortable. It means this path has a ceiling, a hard one. And the only way past it is to stop thinking in hours and start thinking differently. Now here's something most people never question. The system itself, because everything you've been taught feels normal. Study hard, get a job, climb the ladder, and one day you'll be successful. But think about it. If that path truly worked for everyone, why are so many people still struggling? Why do most people stay in the same place for years? Because the system isn't broken. It's working exactly as it was designed. To create workers, not owners. To keep people moving, but not escaping. You're taught how to follow instructions. How to be consistent, how to fit into a role, but not how to build something of your own. And that's the missing piece, because without that, you stay inside the system, depending on it, following it, repeating it. And the longer you stay in it, the harder it becomes to see anything outside of it. Now here's the biggest misunderstanding, money itself. Most people think more money will fix everything, but that's not how it works. Because money doesn't solve the problem, it exposes it. If your system is weak, more money just creates bigger pressure, bigger bills, bigger expectations, bigger stress. And suddenly, you're earning more than ever, but feeling more trapped than before. Because nothing actually changed. You're still trading time, still depending on one source, still stuck in the same pattern, just at a higher level. And that's why some people earn a lot, but still feel broke. Not because they don't make money, but because they never changed how it works. They upgraded income, but not strategy. And without that shift, more money just makes the trap more comfortable, not less real. Now let's talk about security, because this is what keeps most people stuck. A stable job feels safe. A steady paycheck feels reliable. And that comfort is powerful. But here's the truth. That safety is temporary, because your income comes from one place, one company, one decision, away from disappearing. And you don't control that decision, no matter how hard you work. No matter how loyal you are, things can change. Markets shift, companies cut costs, roles disappear, and suddenly what felt stable is gone. And that's the moment people panic, not because they can't work, but because they depended on one source. And when that source disappears, everything shakes. That's not security. That's dependency. Real security isn't about having a job. It's about having options. And most people never build them. So what do successful people do differently? They stop chasing money and start building systems. That's the shift. Because they understand something simple. If money depends on your time, you'll always be limited. So instead of working more, they think differently. They ask, how can this work without me? And that question changes everything. Because now, you're not just working. You're creating something. Something that can grow, even when you're not active. It could be small. A skill. A simple service. A digital product. Anything. But the goal is the same. Create once. Get value multiple times. And slowly, that starts to change your life. Because now, your income isn't tied to every hour. It starts to separate. And that separation is where freedom begins. So what should you actually do? Not quit your job. Not take big risks. Just change how you use it. Right now, your job is your foundation, not your future. It pays your bills. It gives you stability. But it shouldn't be your only plan. Because the real shift starts on the side. Small, simple, consistent. Start building something, anything. A skill you can sell. A small service. A basic online income. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to exist. Because the moment you create a second source, everything changes. You think differently. You act differently. You're no longer fully dependent. And that's the goal. Not instant freedom, but gradual control. Because over time, small actions compound. And what feels tiny today can become powerful tomorrow. Now this is where it becomes real. Because everything you've heard makes sense. It's logical. It's clear. But knowing something is easy. Doing something is hard. Because right now, you have two choices. Go back to your routine. Keep doing what feels comfortable. Keep repeating the same cycle. And hope something changes. Or do something different. Even if it's small. Even if it feels uncomfortable. Because that's where most people stop. Not because they can't change, but because they don't. They wait. They delay. They tell themselves, later. But later turns into years. And years turn into the same life. And that's the real risk. Not failure. Not trying something new. But staying exactly where you are. Because time doesn't wait. It moves. Whether you act or not. And every day, you're either building something or staying in the same place. Now here's the truth. Working for money isn't the problem. We all start there. We all need it. The problem is stopping there. Believing that this is enough. Because it's not. A job can give you income, but it can't give you freedom on its own. It can support you, but it can't scale with you. And that's the difference. Because the moment you stop working, your income stops too. And that's not control. That's dependence. Real freedom starts when your income doesn't need you all the time. When something you built keeps working in the background, even if it's small, even if it's slow. Because that's how it begins. Not with a big move, but with a small shift in how you think, in how you act, in what you build. And once you see that, you can't unsee it. You'll still work, but now you'll build as well. And that changes everything. So the real question isn't, are you working hard? The real question is, what are you building?